Greetings, YouTube. Happy Monday. If you haven't seen it, I posted my video yesterday morning talking about the Idolist MCOC suggestion when I met him for lunch that my next rank 5 champ be Hyperion, which, to be honest, I hadn't ever really thought too much about him because I was so, of course, thirsty for Stark Spidey, somebody that has eluded me for 63 straight 5-star crystals. And I was overwhelmed, and mostly in a positive way, by just how many people commented voicing their support. And I don't think I could have imagined a more fierce debate between two specific champions. But basically, from what I've seen, there's about 3 different camps. And I, as a college professor, and most importantly, as a researcher, I'm really curious. I want to do this video and just gather data and wait a couple of days, and then I'm going to log every comment, and then I'm going to do what's essentially going to be a pie chart of what the community thinks. And I think this is so fascinating to me because it's one of those things that this is the biggest first world problem ever, right? Like, you can't really go wrong in a sense, but there's so many people who are making such passionate arguments, and they're great arguments, but they're also polar opposites. For example, take Hyperion, the entire reason behind the video. I have had people passionately debate that this guy is total trash in Labyrinth of Legends. And then I've had people passionately debate that he is highly underrated for beating content in Labyrinth and should be an option to bring into Labyrinth since, as I said in the other video, I've only done one path. And so I'm amazed. Like, normally you would think it would be more black and white. Either this guy's really good in Labyrinth or this guy sucks. And yet you're seeing both people. Now, I will say that the people who said that he's really good, a lot of them said that they did already have a rank 5, 65 Hyperion, so I think the credibility of that goes up a bit. But man, it's just fascinating to me to see, like, polar opposite opinions about somebody. I just didn't think that was possible. Now, there are 3 camps, and I want to know which camp you're in. You have 3 basically choices to help me with this pie chart, and thank you to everyone in advance for helping me with this research, not just for my future in the game, but also just, when people comment, who should I rank up, I'll be able to say, well, 43% of the community said this when I asked them this question. I don't know if polls make the best videos. I'm always trying to do new things on my channel, but I do think it's fun to have some data, especially like a sample size of a few hundred summoners to reference when I'm getting questions, especially whether it be on the Line app or during live streams. So it's between 3 camps. Either it's the people who say, I don't care if it takes you 2,000 rounds to get Stark Spidey. Do not spend those precious tier 5 basic catalysts until you have pulled Stark Spidey. But that was only about 15 to 20% max of people who commented. The rest were basically in 2 camps. It's a no-brainer, bruh. Either rank up Hyperion or this guy. Rank up your Iceman. Now, he is SIG 145. I have pumped every single mutant gem that I have gotten into him, and he was also the source of my generic 5-star Awakening gem that I got for 100% completing Act 5. The reason why I've always been hesitant on ranking him to rank 5 isn't because I'm not eventually going to do it. So my 5 favorite champs to play on a synergy team: Stark Spidey, Blade, and Ghost Rider, of course. And then, ironically, Iceman and Hyperion. And I've got a bunch of honorable mentions like Void and Magic and Star-Lord. By the way, the people saying I should just rank up Dr. Voodoo, you've got to understand I only have 7 tier 2 alphas, and Dr. Voodoo's only at rank 3. So I would need another 3, even if Voodoo was the best choice. So that's just not going to happen for a long time. But anyhow, so many people said, bro, forget about Hyperion. You've got to go with Iceman. And I get the argument. Triple immunity, prevents evade, and I love to spam the special one with Iceman. I think he's actually fun to play with. I saw some people say he was really boring. I just don't get that. I've never been bored wrecking people with Iceman, but I realize I'm different than you, and maybe you just get bored spamming special ones. I don't know. But regardless, the main reason why I'm not going to do Iceman, or at least I wasn't until I asked this question early in like the first couple of rank 5s, is that the main thing that gives me so much confidence in him is his ice armor. And of course, no matter what, that ice armor is capped at a 5% max damage. Now, if it changed, if it went from like 5% to 3% or even 2% at rank 5, that would be much more compelling of an argument to me. But as it stands, unless someone causes a debuff after a special 3, and certainly there are champs that do that, but of course if they're bleed or poison, it's not going to affect Iceman anyways, you can take a special 3 from any labyrinth enemy, right? And as long as you've got that ice armor up, you're not going to take more than 5%, so he's safe. Him and Gwenpool are very unique in that sense. So I am still leaning toward Hyperion, but I really want to now ask you, which camp are you in? And I'm just ask if you comment something else, I'm not going to delete it or anything, but it's not really going to help the data. So if you were me, Lord help you with size 16 shoes and being a huge nerd, etc. But if you're putting yourself in my size 16 shoes for this, which camp would you go on? Are you in camp number 1? Don't do anything. Wait for Stark Spidey, even if it's in 5 years, assuming the world's still here. Camp number 2, forget Hyperion, rank 5 Iceman, you'll love him. Or camp number 3, stick with Hyperion, Idolist was right, you won't regret it. We've got a level up event coming up, so I don't know if I'm actually going to get a chance to use the items during that time, because I do want to wait a couple of days to gather as much data as possible. But thank you in advance for basically stimulating my nerd senses and allowing me to have some research when it comes to this, because, you know, looking at my options, again, I get this is a first world problem, right? Like, there are no terrible options in this, but at the same time, I don't want to be one of those people who looks back and just absolutely regrets ranking someone up. Even though at the time I didn't regret it, not a day goes by where I don't wish I could take the tier 2 alphas in this unduped rank 4 Ultron and transport them to this duped Void, so that I could take Void straight up to rank 4. Because some of you are also like, dude, put Void as your next rank 5. Again, as you can see when I click info, he is just rank 3 out of 5. So I would need 10 tier 2 alpha catalysts in order to rank him up. And I simply do not have them and will not have them for a long time, unless the game starts to somehow get nice again in the monthly calendars and start giving us one fully formed one at the end of the month, or at least gives us another offer that can get a couple of T2 alphas for like 9,000 units like we saw about a month ago in the game. So anyhow, again, which camp are you in? Camp number 1, rank up Stark Spidey when you get him, and until then, don't do a thing. Camp number 2, rank 5 Iceman over Hyperion. And camp number 3, rank up Hyperion over Iceman. Thanks again in advance for commenting and being a part of my research. I look forward to analyzing the data and letting you know the results. I think this is a really cool thing that you all, who at times, as you keep reminding me, are much smarter at the game than I am, can help me get some input, and then I can have some statistics to pass around in future streams and to help future people making similar projections and rank ups. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a great Monday.